Hey everyone, hope you're all doing great. Masum Jivita, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm just excited to continue this part 2 series of machine learning project series. In this video, let's explore data cleaning and pre-processing methods like how do we handle missing values, how do we handle duplicates, and how to handle outliers. So just a quick recap of like what we discussed in our previous video, that is in our part 1. We just started with a project. Once you start any project, always start with a problem statement, objective, data description, and import basic libraries. Then try to load data, understand variables, and then perform basic checks like shape, columns, head, tail, checking data types of each column, checking info, printing numerical column, printing categorical column, finding unique values, finding value count, and finally statistical summary using describe. And final thing that we learned was like how to find missing values and also how to find duplicates. This is what we discussed in our part 1. Now it's a time to explore what is data cleaning and a pre-processing. In data cleaning, we try to clean our data. Usually data comes with some messy things like missing values. Okay, let's understand what is missing value, how we can handle that. And also let's understand what happens if we pass our data with missing values. Okay, so that is an agenda related to data cleaning and a pre-processing. First important thing that you need to understand is what is a missing value. Missing value in the sense it's a blank or a null entries in your data set. That means places where data is not recorded or maybe unavailable. Okay, why it matters means missing data can lead to inaccurate analysis or a biased result when we train our model with the data. So common fixes are try to remove rows which has a very few missing values or fill it with the average, median, or most frequently occurring value. In this data set, let's try to find are there any missing values. See code data.asnl.sum basically helps you in finding missing values. So clearly there are no missing values in this data. So for that, what I'll do, I'll take some other example and I'll show you how you can handle a missing values. Okay, I have a data frame here and you could see different columns like name, age, city, salary. And can you see the missing values? Missing values are usually represented like a nan or a none. Now we need to handle them. Okay, first and foremost thing, let's identify how many missing values are there. I'll use same df.ageNull.sum. That's going to tell me how many missing values are there in each column. So clear in age 1 missing value, city 1 missing value, salary column, I have a 1 missing value. Okay, first approach that you can take up is, dropping missing values. Always remember, if there are very few missing values, you can actually drop them. Okay, simple, just call df dot drop NA. Drop NA basically helps you in dropping all the missing values. This is a temporary change. You could see all the rows which had a missing values got removed. Out of 5, 3 got removed, only we got a 2. If you want to make it permanent, make sure you add a in place equals true. Okay. And the next important thing, what if you want to drop? And also one more important thing, dropping is not a good option because it's kind of loss of information, not really recommended. Second option is drop missing values in a specific column. What if you want to drop it in a specific column? Let's see, we'll drop it in a salary column. Okay, in that case, first try to fetch the that particular column and then you can drop out of it using same drop NA method. Okay, so we'll try to drop missing values in our salary column. So how do you drop? Simple, just call data.log. I'm using colon fixing row and then calling salary column. So this is going to help me in fetching salary. It's not a data, sorry, it should be DF. Yeah, so now what I have to do, I just want to drop it, dot drop NA. Again, this is going to be, it's a drop NA. Again, it's going to be a temporary drop. If you want to drop it permanently, make sure you add in place is equal to true. Okay, so done with dropping missing values in a specific column. Okay, next important thing. What if you want to drop missing values in any specific column in different approach? Let's say if percentage of missing values is like more than 70%, if there are like very high missing values in a column, maximum information is missing. What do you do in that case? You can actually drop that column itself. How do you drop a column? Let's say there are like almost 90% information missing in a salary column. Simple. Just use data.drop. Mention your column name salary and access is equal to 1 because we are dropping a column. Sorry, it should be DF. Yeah. df.drop salary and access equals 1. Access equals 1 basically tells you about that we are doing some changes with respect to a column. You can clearly see that, salary column got removed, right? If you want to make it permanent change, make sure you add that in place is equal to true so that the dropping of a column will happen in our original data set. Now it's a temporary one. One more interesting approach is, replace missing values using a fill any, because dropping might result in loss of information, right? Use a domain knowledge, that is the first option. If you know like what exactly is missing, you can use the knowledge and you can fill that with a specific value. Let's say, for example, we have a salary column, right? In a salary column, let's imagine that I know what salary is missing. First, what you can do, you can fetch that particular column and you can use a method called as a fill any. See, fourth value is missing. I know what is the salary. Let's say salary is 70,000. I want to fill it. I just use dot fill NA, fetch the column first, dot fill NA, and you just need to mention the value. What is the value? It's a number, right? Write it directly like 70,000. Sorry, yeah. See, the missing value got filled with the 70,000. Hope it's clear. Again, this is like a temporary change. If you want to make it a permanent, make sure you assign that to a new variable. Then now the question is, what if numerical data is missing? There are different approach, okay? You can go with a mean or a median. So now when to go with a mean, when to go with a median? Go with a mean when data is normal distribution, normally distributed. When your curve is, histogram represents like a symmetric distribution, then go with a mean. If go with a median when data is skewed in the sense if you have a tail more towards left side, tail more towards your right side, we call such data as a skewed data. In that case, just go with a median. Next important thing, what if categorical data is missing? Just go with a mode. Okay, so this is how we try to handle missing values, or we try to replace missing values with specific values based on whether numerical values are missing or categorical values missing. Mode in the sense it's a most frequently occurring value. Mean is average, median is the middle number. Okay, so let me show you like how you can replace a missing value in a salary column with a mean. Okay, same code, you can use it with median and also with a mode. Simple. Try to fetch the column first. You got df.log and a salary column. You got a salary column dot fill NA, and you just need to mention a value. We don't know what is the mean value, right? So you can just fetch a column dot mean will calculate a mean and it's going to fill it in a missing value. So it's again a temporary change. If you want to make it a permanent, assign it to a new variable df.log of salary. Okay, similarly for median, in the place of mean, just put a median. And if you want to do it for a mode, you can try the same thing. Again, mode is nothing but a most frequently occurring value. Actually, I don't have any repetitive values in a name column or in a city column. So that's the reason I'm trying again with a salary only. Only small change that you have to make it is in the place of mean or a median, just put a mode. Okay, so that is an interesting thing about replacing missing values with a mean, median, or a mode. See, now I'm just changing median with a mode. Yeah, it just replaces with the most frequently occurring. Actually, we don't have any repetitive things, but it's filling with a 62,000, which is like a latest, like forward filling is happening. Okay, so since we don't have any missing values in your data, we are not handling. This is all about handling missing values. Now it's a time to explore what are duplicates and how to find duplicates, and also how to drop a duplicate. Duplicates are nothing but repeated rows or records when same information appear more than one time. Duplicates are basically repeated rows or records when same information appears more than one time. So removing duplicates matters the most because duplicates can distort calculations. Identifying and removing them basically helps in cleaning your data, and we could see that unnecessarily including repetitive values, it's always good to drop them. How to find duplicates? Just use data.duplicated.sum. So clearly there is one duplicate in our data. Now it's a time to remove duplicates. If you want to remove duplicates, just use data.drop_duplicates. And since I have to drop it permanently, and you could see it's a temporary change. Out of 1,338 rows, we have just like 1,337. If you want to drop it permanently, just say in place is equal to true, so that you can drop duplicates permanently. Okay. So one important thing, again, if you check it, you can see there is no duplicate. That means we have successfully removed our duplicates. Always remember in place equals true matters the most, because whenever you want to make a permanent change, if you want to drop in your original data, in that case, in place equals true matters the most. So this is all about duplicates and how to drop them. Now it's a time to explore how to find outliers and also how to handle outliers. Very first thing, let's understand what are outliers. Outliers are the values which are higher or lower than rest of your data. So in this example, which is an outlier? Outlier is like an extreme value which is not related to your actual data. So everything is fruit, only car is different. So car is an outlier. In this example, all the ages are in same range, but 120 is an outlier. Why handle outliers? They can mess up with an average and it can, deviate in average values. And also they can confuse our machine learning models when there are outliers in your data. If you want to find direction of an outliers, then we have two different approach. One is box plot, another one is histogram. So now let's try to plot a box plot. First, let's try to filter out numerical column. Always remember, outliers are basically found in a numerical column. I'm just using, subplots. Figure comma axis is equal to, let's call PLT dot subplots. Subplots is used to plot multiple graphs. In one single row, I want a 4 different columns because I have 4 numerical column. And then let me give a figure size is equal to, that is for, figure size, individual graph size. I'm giving 3,4. Okay, then what I'll do, I'll just use a for loop because there are multiple columns. Okay, for I'm just using 2 parameters in a for loop because I'm going to use an enumerate. Enumerate is responsible for giving an index, right? I'll use I comma column. I is going to be an index. Column is going to be the column name. For I comma column and enumerate of numerical columns dot columns. Okay, now I'm just using cbon SNS dot box plot. I'm passing data first. Data is equal to data. And then what we do is we just define x is equal to the column name and then axis is equal to axis of I, because I basically represents a graph number. I always starts with 0, indexing. Okay, now finally I just want to give a title, so I'm calling axis of I. Here axis and I is representing individual graph. Okay, and I'm just setting a title, set title, and you just need to give the column name, and I want to capitalize the first letter, so I'm just giving capitalize. Okay, so it will plot. So what it will do now, it will plot a graph for you. It's overlapping, right? Because you have to give plt dot tide underscore layout. So what this plt dot tide underscore layout will do, the overlapping of graphs will be avoided. And also you have to fix the figure size, it's not accurate. See now, it's not overlapping, but still the graph size is not accurate. So let's make it 12,2 or a 3. Okay, yeah, now it's perfect. See, now you can clearly see that there are outliers in a BMI as well as in a charges, right? So similarly, you can use the same code and you can try to plot it for histogram. Before that, you can write an insights like, there are outliers in our BMI and also charges towards right side. Understood, outliers are very important because if there are extreme values in your data, your machine learning will be like very much interested towards that. It's like, the way we people are like more interested towards phone, social media rather than our books. So similar way, when model sees anything new, the model will be like very much interested in understanding those extreme values. So outlier is an extreme value which you have to detect and which you need to handle it before you pass your data to a machine learning model. Same way, you can also find distribution of a data using histogram. Even by that also you get to know whether your data has outliers or not. Same code copy paste, just make hist plot and extra thing KD is equal to 2. You will get a histogram. You can clearly see that, BMI represents normal distribution and charges represents a right skew. Okay, so now it's a time to explore how to handle outliers. First, check the distribution. If data is normal, we just go with a 3 sigma rule or else IQR method. Okay, first step, check the distribution of a data. If data is normal, just use a 3 sigma rule. If data is skewed, like right or left, just use an IQR. So clearly in our BMI, we could see the normal distribution, right? It's normal. And charges is a right skewed. So we'll go with a 3 sigma rule for a BMI. In a normal distribution, 3 sigma rule in the sense, 68% of your data will lie within first standard deviation. And 95% of our data lie within 2 standard deviation. And 99.7% of your data will lie within 3 standard deviation. So now any data point which is outside your 3 standard deviation is considered like an outlier. So you have a lower limit, upper limit like mu minus 3 sigma and mu plus 3 sigma. Any data point outside within this range is basically considered as an outlier. So now, let me show you how you can find lower bound and a upper bound. So clearly shows that, BMI in data is normal distribution. Hence, we are going with a 3 sigma rule. First step is you just need to find lower bound, right? So first let me fetch the BMI column using data.log colon comma BMI. That basically helps you in, fetching BMI column. Once you get this, you know the lower bound and upper bound formulas, right? Lower limit in the sense it's mu minus 3 sigma. Upper limit in the sense it's a mu plus 3 sigma. Okay, now let's define lower limit as equal to, you can just, find mean first because mu minus 3 sigma is the lower limit formula. And similarly, for upper limit, we have a mu plus 3 sigma. Only the sign difference you could see, right? So fetch the data first, just use dot mean. That's going to help you in finding mean. Minus, oh sorry, I gave a plus. It should be minus. And then it should be 3 times. Again, it should be like a standard deviation. Take a same column, data.log BMI.std. Okay, so this is going to be the lower limit. And sorry, yeah, there is a minus sign. It's not a plus, it should be minus. Yes. And similarly, you can copy paste the same thing and you can just change the sign and change your variable name to an upper limit. Okay, so this is how you will find lower limit as well as an upper limit, just modified to plus. So you can display it, what is the lower limit, what is the upper limit. Now you just need to filter data, which is less than lower limit, which is greater than upper limit. Any data which is less than lower limit, any data which is greater than upper limit, usually we consider it like an outlier. Okay, you have understood, right? Outliers are extreme values. They're like different from your actual data. If there are outliers in your data, your model will be like more interested towards an outliers. It will try to understand about that outlier more. So it's very important to handle them. Now let's try to filter it out, okay? So in order to filter data which is less than lower limit, which is greater than upper limit, we just use a concept called as, filter data concept. Yeah. So I'll just use data.log. That's from main data I'm filtering out, right? So first let me show you how to filter values which are like, first fetch the BMI column and then you can write a condition data.log BMI if it is greater than upper limit. First, let's try to filter out, are there any outliers which are greater than your upper limit? Yes, there are almost like 4 outliers. You could see BMI values are basically greater than 48. Okay, yeah. So similarly, if you want to find it for lower limit, you can again use the same code, just change condition to less than lower limit. Less than lower limit. Yes, there are no outliers which are less than your lower limit. Great. If you want to combine both, you can also try out, you can use same code data.log, use an or operator and give 2 conditions, one less than lower limit and the one greater than upper limit. You can just copy paste the conditions and you can use or operator between them. You need not type code every time, you can just be smart, just do copy paste and make things easier. Okay, so now I just want to find like percentage of an outliers. I want to know like what percentage of outliers we have in this data, because outliers needs to be handled only if percentage of outliers is less than 5%. I'm just calling length of that whatever data I filtered divided by length of actual data multiplied with 100. This is going to tell me like what percent of data we have, like very less, right? Like just like 0.2% we have it, right? So if percentage of outliers is less than 5%, usually we need to handle them. Otherwise, you should not touch such outliers if it's more than 5%, because they're adding some information, they're adding some value to your data. So be careful about it. Okay, so now what I'll do, since it's a 3 sigma rule, you can replace it with either upper limit or else you can just go with a mean, because data is anyhow normal, right? You can replace all the outliers with mean value. So what I'll do, I'll just take a same condition, okay, whatever or operator I have used, you can just take a same code, okay, and then just add one column which is a BMI, because we are fetching data and we are telling like where exactly we have to do these changes. So what changes has to be done? So all the outlier values in a BMI should be replaced with a average BMI value, right? So for that, what I'll do, I can use a formula to find a mean of BMI. You can just use like data.log BMI.mean. That basically tells you like how to find mean. Once you find a mean, assign that value to the BMI value that you have filtered out from your outlier concept. Okay, so that's what you have to do it here. I've just used data.log where value is greater than upper limit, where value is less than lower limit, and then let's give a BMI. Okay, because I'm telling like where exactly I have to do a changes. I have to do changes in BMI column. What changes I have to do it? So that is data.log colon BMI dot me. So now all the outliers will be replaced with an average value. Now you can call that, code again, and you can see are there any outliers in your data or not. You can just check are there any outliers in our data or not. You can just copy paste the above code, just run it. You don't see any outliers. Okay, this is all about our 3 sigma rule. Now it's a time to explore how to find outliers in our charges. Since charges is, distribution is right skew, let's go with an IQR. IQR is an interquartile range which measures spread of data in a middle 50% of your data. IQR is calculated using Q3 minus Q1, where Q1 represents 25th percentile, value below which 25% of your data falls. Similarly, Q3 is nothing but it's a 75th value in your data, wherein value below which 75% of your data falls. In IQR method, we use a lower limit and upper limit. Lower limit is going to be Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR, and upper limit is going to be Q3 plus 1.5 times IQR. So any data point outside this range is basically considered as an outlier. Okay, so now let's try to find, in our charges column, since distribution of data is right skewed, we'll use an IQR method. First step is finding Q1. Data.log, try to fetch the charges column and just use a quantile of 0.25. Since it's our 25th percentile, 25th value in your data, just use 0.25. Similarly, to find Q3, you can just use the same code and just modify 0.25 as 0.75 because it's a 75th percentile, right? Yeah. So once you find Q1 and Q3 using this particular code, you can find an IQR. IQR formula is simple, Q3 minus Q1. Once you find Q3 minus Q1, you can just try to print Q1, Q3 and also IQR, and you can see what values you're gonna get. Yeah, next important step is like you need to find lower limit and upper limit. So lower limit is nothing but it's Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR. So Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR. Similarly, to find an upper limit, use the formula Q3 plus 1.5 times IQR. So Q1 is 25th percentile, Q3 is a 75th percentile, and IQR is difference between Q3 and Q1. Try to display those values. You will get to know what is the lower limit and what is the upper limit. Okay. So next important thing, now you need to filter all the values which are less than lower limit, all the values which are greater than upper limit. Just use a filter data concept and let's try to filter it. First, let's filter, all the values which are less than a lower limit. You know how to filter data concept, just use data.log and then data.log charges, which is less than lower limit. So outer data.log is like a main data in which it is filtering data based on a conditions that have given within inner bracket. Similarly, you can copy paste the same code and just modify. So clearly no values which are less than lower limit. Now let's see, are there any values which are greater than upper limit? Just use the same code and just modify the code like, use greater than symbol and just say like, greater than upper limit. Upper limit. Okay. So there are so many outliers here, almost like 139 rows. So now we need to think what to do, right? So first let's do one thing. We'll try to find the percentage of an outliers. Based on that, we can decide, do we need to drop it? Do we need to replace it? Or we're not supposed to touch? So all this information you get to know only by, finding percentage of an outliers. So we'll do one thing. We'll just use a length of, first let me try to filter data which was greater than lower limit and which is less than lower limit, which is greater than upper limit. I'm using OR condition, okay. And then I'm going to divide this by overall data, that is divided by length of a data, and just multiply it with 100. So you can remove the decimal. Okay, so it's almost like 10%. We know that if percentage of outlier is less than 5%, we need to touch it. Otherwise, we are not supposed to touch that, right? So since 10% of outliers, that means they're not outliers. They have something to do with your data set. For certain cases, the charges can be higher, right? So this is all about data cleaning and pre-processing, wherein we learned about how to clean data, missing values, duplicates, and also outliers. In our next video, let's explore about what is exploratory data analysis, what is univariate, what is bivariate, what is multivariate. So make sure you subscribe to my channel for more such videos. Click on a bell icon so that you don't really miss out any updates related to my channel. Happy learning. Thank you.